Welcome to Let's Talk R&R with Tony and Lisa. Today's podcast, sometimes you have to go back to move forward. Let's go to the throne.
So I was spending time with Jesus, and you know what I learned?
What did you learn?
I learned that sometimes in order to rekindle the fire, you need to go back to where the fire started.
Okay.
And I say that because I as of late, I went through a period where I don't know. I wasn't necessarily not feeling God, but the fire started to die down, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And my desire to get it back was great enough that I was looking. I was looking for new ways to light this fire.
Okay.
And it was as if Jesus said, rather than trying to find new ways, why don't you just go back to where you know the fire started? You know there are places and spaces that you go to when you feel me at the most. You feel me the most.
Right.
You know? And he was absolutely right. So I got in my car and I cranked up the music and there he was.
The car is the spot.
Yeah. And I think it's important for us to remember those places, spaces, and times when we feel him the most. Mm-hmm. So that when we're having a moment, when we need to feel him, we can say, you know what, let me go back to this place because that's our space. That's our spot, if you will. Mm. You know, because sometimes, you know, when you go to counseling, you'll have a counselor that says to a couple, well, why don't the two of you recreate that first date? Mm-hmm. When that feeling, you know, when you looked into their eyes and it was just all this love, recreate that moment to stir up those feelings. So I had to get back in the car. And it was as if when I got in the car and I closed the door, Jesus said, hey, I've been waiting on you.
Where you been?
Where have you been? You know, and it's interesting because it's such a wonderful feeling. I can't believe I didn't think about just get in the car. Mm-hmm. So I think I just think it's important for us to remember, which is why it's so important to journal. Because we can have more than one place, more than one space, more than one thing that brings the Holy Spirit about and lights the fire, if you will. Mm-hmm. So I just really, I just want us to talk about that. I think it's important. Again, like I said, I'm going through a moment where I'm not feeling him as often, but I have to put in the work to make it happen as well. In relationships, it can't just be one person reaching out.
Right.
It has to be the other putting in some work. And I needed to put in some work. I kind of sat at my desk feeling he would just come visit me and come see me. And he's like, but we have a spot.
Yeah, the word says seek ye.
Right. But we have a
kingdom.
space. I guess my closet is my car.
Well, at least you have one. I mean, that I can think of, I don't really have a designated space that I go to, which is kind of weird, I guess. But, you know, I just kind of talk to him wherever I am. If I'm here in the basement or if I'm upstairs, if I'm in my car.
Right.
I do find that in the car you can wild out, if you will, you know, and, you know, really go in, but I never really looked at the car being my spot. You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
I never looked at any place being my spot, really. But I think that's a good idea. I think everyone should, you know, have one.
Yeah.
Should have a spot that they go to.
Absolutely.
Because again, it's a place where you can block everything else out.
Right.
And it's just you and him.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You know, anywhere else you have the distractions, possible distractions of everything else. Mm-hmm. TV, noise, you know, your phone may ring or whatever. And not to say that if you're driving and you don't pay attention to traffic.
Right.
But but in the you know, the inside of the vehicle, you can kind of control that environment.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
But you also, you know, when you have a spot, you now train your mind and your words and your actions to focus on Jesus. When I get in the car, something happens and I know it's my Jesus time.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of like if you and I go on date night and we have this designated space for date night, you and I both walk into the space with the intention of being undivided to one another.
Right.
This is, you know, we're going to put down the phone.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're not on Instagram. I'm not on Twitter.
Right.
Checking the sports. And
Right, because we're mentally in the mindset of this is our time. So when I get in the car, I know that's my time with Jesus. So distractions may come, but I'm less inclined to respond to them because I think it's really important for us to have a space, even if it's not a space with a door, because another space that I have is my desk where I journal and I read my word, and I've created that time for he and I.
Right.
That may not be necessarily the space that I quote unquote wild out, as you indicated, because everyone in the house will say, what's going on with mom? But it is a space that I silently listen to him, and I worship him on a lower decibel. In the car, I'm kind of like at 150. But it was wonderful to remember that when I need him and I can call on him and I need to feel him, that I have a space that I can really go to, and I don't have to sit there and hope he shows up, you know, and hope I'll feel him today. If I really need him, I can say, all right, let me get in this car because I really need to feel your presence, Holy Spirit. We need to do some stuff.
Even if you don't go nowhere, you're just in the parking lot. Man,
listen, don't play. Absolutely.
Like, where's Lisa? She out in the car. Oh, okay.
And Jesus.
She needed a moment.
That's right. And don't listen, mess around. I'll open the door for him and let him in first before I get in.
Oh, almost down. He already there waiting on you. You know that. He's like, I was waiting on you to get in here and cut on the air conditioner because it's hot.
Yeah. So it was, again, this is about making your relationship better. And we have moments where we don't feel him all the time as we would like.
Right.
We have moments where, you know, the fire isn't burning as brightly as we would have hoped.
Yeah.
But, you know, he gives us a way to get back.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's a relationship, you know, just like any other relationship. It's ebbs and flows. You know, you got the time where, you know, you can't get enough of your spouse or significant other or whatever. And then there's times where you're like, well,
that doesn't happen with you and me. You always want to see me.
Yeah, like, I do.
You don't have ebbs and flow. You up. You all the way.
Always.
Yes.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Yes. Oh, and I think that's a wonderful thing about you. Yes, I do.
It is. If you can see my face right now. But yeah, then, you know, there's moments where you're like, you know, I mean, I love you, but if you want to go on to the mall and leave me by myself, that's fine. I'm good, you know. And other times you're like, where you going? What you doing?
Right,
where you at?
Doing? Let me go with you.
Let me go with you, yeah.
Go with you.
So yeah, it's the same with Jesus, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Know? But the beauty of it is, you know, we would like to think that he doesn't get offended, but I'm sure he does. Yeah. But he knows, you know.
Well, and another beautiful thing is that though you may say to me, I'm going to go to the mall, you know, I'll be back. And you turn around, I'm not there. Jesus is always there. Whether we say, hold on, Jesus, because I've said that to him, hold on, I'll be right back. I got to handle something. You may not want to hear what I have to say. And he's like, let me holler at you real quick. I am always where you go. You do realize this, Lisa.
and I know what you're about to say. So
yeah.
You know, so I don't know why you're trying to leave me anywhere.
I know. And thank God he doesn't stay somewhere and I go out unprotected. But that's a whole nother, you know what? Yes. Another podcast.
There you
another
go.
Episode. There you go. Yes.
So yeah, people. So think back, family, to when the fire first started.
Yes.
You know, where were you? What happened? What were those feelings? What were those emotions?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you need to go back to move forward.
So come on, save that. Come on.
All right. See, I drop one every now and again.
Every now and again.
Oh, then I'm going to leave on a high note.
All right.
All right. So there you have it, family. Love and blessings. Love and blessings. Thank you for listening to Let's Talk R&R with Tony and Lisa. Follow us on Instagram at Let's Talk RNR, where we welcome your feedback.